Episode 2.
If you work hard enough, the world is yours.
I thought being a grown-up would feel different.
We followed the rules, went to school, got the job, did the things, and somehow we still ended up drowning.
Because we weren't built for this. We were built for a version of the world that doesn't exist anymore.
Clouds and chaos.
Welcome back. Back for episode number 2.
Woo!
Clouds and chaos in full effect. Last week we talked about being tired. This week we're asking why.
So we're calling out the myth today. This isn't laziness. It's not bad mindset. It's survival under a rigged game.
So today the central idea we're really diving into is the system crashed. We just happened to be inside it when it did. So this first segment, I really want to dive in here. What were you promised that just never came?
So first of all, flying cars.
That's true. When are flying cars going to be a thing? Still waiting.
Yeah, I know. But like at this point in time, I don't know. I was watching some show, one of the mini shows I've been watching lately, but maybe it was How I Met Your Mother. But it went to like year 2025, and like the version they had of 2025 was definitely not the shit show we're in right now. I expected if it was going to be this much of a shit show that we'd have a little bit more perks. You know what I mean?
True. Yeah, I think for me, thinking back on what I was promised that just never came, when I was writing this episode and I thought about that, I thought back when I was in, I want to say the beginning of high school. My dad went into my guidance counselor's office for something, and there was a sign or a little poster up on the wall that said, "Life isn't fair, get used to it." And my dad went to talk to the guidance counselor and had him print off like a bunch of those. And my dad put it up all over the house.
Oh my God. Brad, what are you doing?
But it's one of those things, right? Like life isn't fair and you just have to get used to it. And I hear that a lot from the older generations, right? I was talking to your dad when they were out here.
Yeah.
And that same type of message came through with the conversations that we were having too. So I think for me that like what we were promised and that just never came true.
The unfair things are just different for them. It was more low key.
Yeah. But like the hard work piece of it. Hard work translates to good things, which in some cases it does, but there are things that
we're a little overworked and not reaping big rewards for like being overworked. Like you literally have to work overtime and really break your back in order to just like meet your basic necessities right now. And you know, the 40-hour week has turned into the never-ending week. Like for me, I tell people this all the time. Every day is a Monday for me. I don't ever view a Friday as a Friday or like even like Wednesday karaoke. Like every day literally for me and my mindset is a Monday.
Yeah, I definitely feel that. And it's a constant too. People have to have side gigs just to keep up.
Literally, you know? 2 or 3 jobs. I talk to people at work all the time where like, because jobs don't have the full-time hours for you, you have to get like 10 hours here, 15 hours there, or maybe work 13 hours and then drive through the night to do DoorDash just to like get some gas money and be able to eat the next day. Because some of those gig works are like instant cash payouts, right? And every day life costs money. I feel like every day, like I see those TikToks where people like, they jump out of the house, right? And it's like this store, $300 and this place or whatever. Like, I don't know. Life every day just costs money.
Every single day.
Every day.
Any other memories from your childhood or early years?
There's lots of memories, I think, from my childhood. Some that I probably will never share. But then, I don't know, like I grew up different. You and I grew up different. And so while like you had the posters of life's, unfair, get used to it everywhere, I got what I wanted all the time and got really comfortable with getting whatever I wanted. And so that's, what kind of translated to my self-destruction. I'm not going to go on a tangent on all that. I'm sure that's another episode down the line.
Well, we'll get into that.
But my like childhood memories came with like the perks of life, I guess, and living and doing like those things. But yeah, things promised today that I was looking forward to back then. And I think we're kind of creating some of those things for us now and how we have our home, like how we raise our kids and stuff. So, I mean, when we talk about like futuristic cars and, someone choosing your outfits like through a computer screen and stuff, I think we as a generation are learning to not promise things for our kids' future. Like, oh, when you get older, it's going to be like this for you. Like because that's what we were told. And I feel like we're finally the generation who's breaking that cycle where it's not just like life is unfair, get used to it. Haha, sucks to be an adult. Like giving them a little bit more like guidance in that reality. And a little bit more like preparation instead of just like, okay, you're 18, see you later, goodbye. What does that result in? 2 people getting married at 19 and 20, taking a gamble on love. You know what I mean? Like we're not setting that up for the future.
That's actually a good topic to transition to the next segment, which is the broken blueprint. So some of us were handed blueprints. Others were handed traps.
Success is a choice.
That's deep.
You get to, you get told to be grateful for scraps and then get blamed when they don't feed you, right? Like, for example, now, college, right? For a lot of people, it's a debt trap.
Yeah.
Like you get so much in debt just by trying to better yourself. And that's, I guess, another thing that we were told when we were kids, or at least I was. You go to college and get a degree and that leads to a job. And look how many people are getting out of college with degrees and
yeah,
they can't find work.
Yeah. Watching like student teachers at the school and they're done with schooling now to be a teacher and there's no teacher jobs open right now. So they got to go move back in with their parents and go work at the grocery store and like do those things after they just worked really, really hard to get, where they were supposed to go.
Yeah. I think another thing around that is being told to do what you love, do what you love to do. And I think that a lot of those things have led to maybe some unstable gig work, where you're trying to chase that dream and you're trying to find the things that you love to do. And then you get wrapped into this gig work mindset where these companies don't have to give you any benefits or anything. Where the previous generations, you got a job and you have this 401k and you have health insurance. These gig workers don't have any of that.
No.
None of it.
No, none of it at all. I mean, I did DoorDash for a little bit and they don't take like your taxes out. Like it's just money that's there, like available for you. But then it's also like scrap money. You're working just as hard as you would trying to make minimum wage somewhere. And they get away with not giving you any benefits or anything like that.
Yeah, I agree. And then you talked about this a little bit, but buying a home as well. that was like the American dream.
It would be a dream to have home.
One statistic, I want to say it was about 10 years ago, maybe a little bit longer. The average age for first-time home buyers was between 28 and 30 years of age. Now, that same age group for buying your first home is 38 to 40 years old. So that's grown 10 years. So people are waiting even longer. And I'm not saying that renting is necessarily a bad thing, but when the economy is built on assets, and people who own assets are the ones that are gaining from all of these, basically.
Well, I mean, it was the people that got in at the right time with the interest rates and stuff like that. And it's also like renting versus buying a home right now. If something breaks in our townhome right now, like we can call maintenance and have it fixed, versus like when you own a home and your hot water heater goes out or you have to like rip up and do something, like you got to come up with that money. There's a little bit more protection in renting right now than it is trying to own a home. Because trying to own a home, like the type of house we want, our mortgage would be like triple like what we're paying now.
Especially with interest rates.
Yeah. So.
Success.
I think the last thing for this segment is talking about the disparities that we have between what was promised and what was delivered. That really changes depending on how you look at the different classes of people, even racially too. Like, depending on where you grew up, who you knew, who you know now, that all changes based on, what you're promised and what's actually delivered to you. What do you think about that?
Well, as a Black woman, who grew up super privileged, like, first of all, like I grew up super privileged in my life and not having to struggle growing up in ways, but I also did struggle in other ways because I am a Black woman. Again, probably down the road, another episode to talk about all of that. But yeah, I've told people this multiple times throughout the years we've been together, that if you were to put you and I on paper and how we grew up, people would most likely think that you're of color and I was white because of how we grew up. School vacation happened and we were loaded up into the van and we drove down to Florida, went to Disney World. And then as we got older, Universal and all of those things. Those were our summer vacations versus how you went to go babysit your siblings, right? So if you put that on how we grew up. So we both have kind of experiences on like both sides of the fence, as well as you're the privilege that you have as a white man, right? And the opportunities and things that have been more afforded to you than a person of color. So kind of have like the toes in like both sets of the water. You know what I mean? Which makes us more well-rounded with things. But yeah, there's absolutely differences between the classes and what kind of clothes you wore to school and all sorts of things that have just many factors into where we all are today.
Yeah, I think the one thing that stood out to me is on paper, it looks one way, but in real life, it never translates what's on paper to what actually your lived experience.
Yeah.
Right. So I think that's a good thing to call out. Moving along, let's talk about grind culture being a total scam.
What? You mean I've been working all of these years and grinding and it's a scam? How dare?
Yeah, for real. They sold us freedom through hard work. What we got? Exhaustion and Amazon delivery routes.
My parents hustled for survival, and now we hustle to chase a finish line that just keeps on moving.
How much pressure do you feel? Because you're that type of person that will work multiple jobs to make things happen. Do you feel like that side hustle pressure?
Not necessarily a side hustle pressure, but a need to always like be doing and gathering and then giving. I don't know. It just always feels like it. Rest guilt. I think we talked about. Have we talked about that yet?
No, that's the next thing.
Oh, well.
Rest guilt. I was going to call that out for sure because you absolutely have rest guilt.
Me?
Yes.
Whatever.
And it's something that you have to do, right? Like you're filling up your cup and you can't fill your cup back up if you don't take rest. So you shouldn't feel guilty.
I can always fill my cup up with a tequila. I don't know what you're talking about. Anyways, yes. I mean, having very, very recently gone through forced rest. Like you literally almost had to strap me down just to like not go anywhere. And I still did stuff.
Always overdoing it.
Always like, well, I wouldn't say like, I don't know, I'm not overdoing it. People say that to me all the time, that I'm overdoing it.
Say that to your knee.
Okay, well, I fell and I got injured, okay? And then I went to work on it and I worked hard. And then, yeah, did it like blow it up a little bit more? No, it didn't.
A little bit.
No.
A little bit.
No.
How about the comparisons between generations? Like, I hear this sometimes from older generations, like we did more with less.
Well, things cost less back then. You were making more, so things cost less for you. Like if you look back on like ads and how much like a VCR and all the things were like, and then the comparison how much we have to pay for TVs and things like that today, it's just absolutely crazy for me. And I saw like old pictures of gas prices and stuff, but like you were making money, like you were making enough money to one, have the wife or homemaker. You had enough money to have a person out working and then having a homemaker to take care of the children, right? And help raise the children. Like nowadays, if we're not both working, we may still be like eating, but it's going to be more like ramen noodles and hot dogs and chicken nuggets. But like when we're both working, then it's, you know, chicken parm bakes and things like that.
Yeah, I agree. I think it was back in the 70s is when it really changed. Prior to that, you could have homemakers and there was the women's movement, which 100% I think every woman has a right to work and live their dreams and do what they want to do. And
well, yeah, they all did want to be at home taking Valium while their husbands were out working and then coming home and then having to serve him food, like taking care of children. Like the homemaker part of it was unpaid, but it was also a job in itself. And so I think where that came from is we figured out like, oh, well, you're getting paid for the work that you do. Like I'd like to get paid for the work that I do too as well. And then, look at the movement now where there's a lot more working moms and stay-at-home dads now.
That's what I was about to call out too, is there's definitely that dynamic switch, which is okay to, a man is definitely okay to stay at home and take care of the kids. I think that's a great option if the woman wants to go out and work. But I think the issue is you can't have both usually. Like you're sacrificing something for another, right?
Oh, absolutely.
If you have a homemaker at home all the time, taking care of the kids, you're raising your kids. There aren't screens or teachers or other people raising your kids. You're way more involved, and you do a great job of balancing a lot of those things. I think that's also why you also feel rest guilt, because you're also super active with our kids in school and stuff like that. You make the time for all of those things. Even if it doesn't lead to like a monetary value, that's a huge value in our kids' lives.
For sure.
What about the illusion of if you just work harder?
I don't know. I work pretty damn hard. Not like I'm not a perfect person, yada, yada, yada. But like, I don't know. I do see that like I work so hard And it's just that, like we said, that finish line just keeps on moving. And it's like, oh, well, like I thought if I did this and this and this, like we would be able to rest for a second. And it's like, well, I just need you to do like a couple more things, right? I'm just going to scooch this finish line a little bit back more this way. And you're like, okay, I'm going to work harder and I'm going to get there. And then I'm like, well, maybe just like, let's move it a little bit further back. And you're like, well, I don't know what else to do. The finish line, my prize, my rest is there. And if I don't continue to go to where they want me to meet the line, then I'm never going to achieve that stuff. Instead of like breaking off to the finish line that's just been waiting for you over there, that's like, hey, I'm over here waiting for you. You can come rest for a minute and then we can get started with what you want, right? Trying to figure out really where your path and your pattern is. It's not necessarily with someone tugging that finish line away from you. Sometimes you have to go and like create it for yourself, like draw that line in your sand yourself. And standing up and just saying like, nope, gonna rest now. Thanks, bye. And moving on, right? We have a hard time with moving on because they get that hold and grasp and like control of you and just saying like, well, keep doing this and keep doing this and keep working harder and then we'll reward you and stuff. And that's just only feeding their bottom line. It's only feeding their upper bosses to, making them happy and whatnot. Sometimes you have to be like, okay, and then turn around and go, my mom does a great job of that.
Yeah, that's true. And then you just lead to burnout, which, speaking of burnout, this would be a great opportunity to cut to one of our totally real sponsors here for just a second.
We'll be right back.
Introducing the Burnout Buddy, the only emotional support gadget that buzzes politely every time you try to rest. Now with overcommitment mode and passive-aggressive notification settings. Just $49.99 plus emotional baggage. Side effects may include sobbing in parking lots and confusing productivity with self-worth.
Welcome back. Hope you enjoyed the break. We're going to move along here to, are we being optimized to death?
Yeah, for real. I don't want to be efficient. I just want to be okay.
And I'm not a robot. I'm a mother. I'm tired. I'm real. And I'm real tired of these damn children.
Yeah, for real.
Just kidding. I love you guys with all of my heart. But for real, I'm a real person. Just tired.
So, what do you think leads to that tiredness? You know, you have social media, that constant dopamine loop that we're in always. It's just one, pull your phone up, hit one app, and you're there.
No, but for real, I've tried to detox myself in a way of like not immediately waking up and like checking my phone and checking the notifications. I stay off a lot of the others like social media apps. It's like, but like Facebook is like my vice for sure. Facebook and TikTok, because it helps with that like doom scrolling where I can get out of my mind for a second. Because as soon as I like get up and my feet hit the floor for the day, my feet have hit the floor and probably won't be setting back down until later.
Yeah. I've never really been super into social media. I'm really trying to now because I have a lot of ideas and things that I want to like give to the world. And business and stuff like that. I'm trying to get out there for like business related stuff, but like I still want to be real. And I've always looked at social media as kind of being fake.
Well, I mean,
you put on this,
but let's like be real for honest though. Like you do have your vices with magic and video games and things like that too as well. Things that distract you outside of the real world.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
You literally will not put your back to the world at anything else. If we're out in public or whatever, you are facing the door and everything. But when we're here in the house and you get into your little bubble over there at the desk, then so don't play with me. It's not just about social media, but some of that tired does come from not self-caring in the right way and scrolling on Facebook, scrolling on TikTok, always playing video games, always that kind of stuff. The electronic type of dopamine that we're trying to get isn't the type of dopamine that's going to give you that lasting happiness. You know, you got to get out into the sun and, you know, touch some grass and ground your feet, move your body and treat it well and stuff. But we're tired and trying to reverse all that work. And if that's not something, especially when you have like ADHD or any type of like neurospicy things, it's hard to get into a new pattern of healthiness.
I actually just read something recently. There's this nature deficit disorder.
Yeah.
Where you actually get like more restless and stressed and anxious when you're stuck indoors for too long.
Yeah.
And you can actually get like really fatigued and like irritable because you're inside for too long.
Yeah.
So like growing the garden, for example, has been a really nice break from that. So I go out there, like I talk to the plants, like I treat them like my children. Like I'm loving them and treating them right, making sure that they have everything they need. And you know,
well, you know, I like to be outside.
You like to be outside?
And then inside somewhere else. But yeah, no, I like I tell people, like I tell the kids all the time, go get some sun. My mom tells me that all the time, go get some sun. Like go outside. Like walking to the girls and I, two of them, Donnie and Raf, and I walked barefoot to the mailbox the other day. You know, because my mom's been talking about walking without your shoes, like grounding, reconnecting with the earth. And while it was just on asphalt and it was like a minimal walk, it still felt good. It does give you that kind of connection, like to the earth and
Mother Earth.
I mean, we live in such a pretty place that it's like when you go outside, you feel the effects of it.
So what about you haven't focused too much. I mean, this is like my life now with AI, but with AI speeding everything up, it's almost like it's erasing the human. What do you think about that?
I think humans were erased a long time before AI even really came about. I shouldn't say humans, but humanity. I don't think we're really erasing the human. I think we're erasing like the humanity. And caring of each other, but I think that's just been happening for like a long time. And now that we all can escape to somebody that can talk to us, that gets us, like when I asked it to roast me, or when I ask it to like, you know, tell me about myself or tell me something good, and it like gets it spot on, it's insane. When I can think about a nail polish, my mom and I were thinking, like, we didn't say the name out loud. I saw her nail polish or something, or I looked at it, I don't know what happened, but that literal ad for that nail polish popped up onto my Facebook the next time that I scrolled. We were talking about something the other day, no ads that ever really should be on my algorithm, and then all of a sudden that's on my thing. So it just always kind of feels like we're being like chased and watched right now, like some type of Big Brother like type of thing. What did you say the other day? A simulation?
Yeah.
You know,
we live in a simulation. Hey, there's actually some, it's art out there, but there's some science behind that. But I feel like now there's no off switch anymore.
No, not at all. Even
back to nature, that's actually, I feel like when you get out there, especially with my backpacking trips and stuff like that, just getting out there where you don't even have signal, like you don't have the option for it anymore. That's fully unplugging. I know not everybody can do that. It's not everybody's jam, but like there is something to say about getting out to nature and just connecting with the earth again and feeling human.
Yeah.
Like feeling like
that's
yourself.
The survival like instinct and all that stuff. Cause like, yeah, no, that makes a whole lot of sense. We started as hunters and gatherers, right? Like we didn't have all of this comfort and stuff at our disposal. And so like you said, with the garden, just that little bit of growing our own food, not having to buy tomatoes anymore, not having to buy the thyme anymore, all those kind of things, just slowly starting to not like fend for ourselves, but like grow and give for ourselves, I think is gonna make a huge difference for us in feeling not controlled by whoever this simulation is being run by.
I know I talk about this all the time, but I just cannot, like, I want to just speak it into existence. Community gardens are like such a vibe. Like, just think about that.
Yeah.
Your own little neighborhood having their own garden that everybody helps with. And I realize not everybody's going to help equally, but we can all do something, even if it's something small.
Yeah.
Even after you grow it, having little salsa parties and everybody makes their own little salsa and testing it out. And the kids get to see like how these things are grown. They get to put their hands on soil and really feel something that's true and that's nature. I feel like we're still hunters and gatherers today. We're just hunting likes and comments and gathering all that stuff now instead of actually getting out there and, nature. And
I wonder if we could start a garden at the school.
That would be cool. I would be all about that.
I'm going to put that on Monday's agenda when I talk to the board.
Very cool.
Yeah. And you have to kind of plant those kind of ideas around small and then watch it grow into something bigger. I think that's one of the things I appreciate about, where we live in the school district we're a part of, and whatnot. That sense of community, like, is there. It's just about gathering the community together, really, like getting them off the phones, getting them off the news, getting them off social media, all of those things, and like getting the community together, right? And figure out like how both sides, how to play into things and how we can like coexist, and then do those kind of things for ourselves, so that we're not all being robbed every time we go to the grocery store for onions and potatoes and vegetables. Like, trying to eat healthy for the family, or eat organic and all that kind of stuff, like, breaks your budget.
Yeah.
And that also makes you tired because you feel like, okay, well, I need to feed my kids organic stuff. So now I need to work X amount of hours so I can feed them the organic stuff. But then I got to pay the electricity bill. And then we have the water bill. And then we have the trash bill and those kind of things. And then school's about to come up. So now we got to hustle for school money to buy them backpacks and clothes and shoes and things like that. Oh, well, holidays are coming right after that. So now I got to save up because now it's going to be Christmas. Are we traveling? Right? There's never really any downtime to take it day by day because you're always looking at the next 6 months ahead. The dream they sold us doesn't exist. That doesn't mean we've stopped dreaming.
Rebellion isn't chaos. It's clarity. Seeing through the bullshit.
Bullshit. All right, move on to what is the next part?
Let go of the lie.
What are the lies?
You weren't lazy. You were lied to.
So we want to, for ourselves and just help others learn how to rewrite the success. And it's kind of what we just talked about, the community and peace and purpose.
Finding your purpose, right?
Finding the purpose,
And I think there's a case to make for finding your purpose in your community, right? Like,
yeah, like
that's the
what's
closest
your puzzle
thing
piece?
to you.
Yeah. Like a puzzle, your community, think of your community like a puzzle, and you can't sometimes force your puzzle piece to go to where it doesn't connect to, right? So if you find where your puzzle piece fits and then we've created the puzzle, then our community is strong because we're all in our roles where we're supposed to be.
Yeah, exactly. Reclaiming your path forward instead of inheriting one that just never fit you.
I want to wear what I want.
I think that's the biggest thing, though, is like really talking about like the thing that you can impact the most is a thing closest to you, which is your community.
For sure.
And we want to talk about a lot of the federal stuff and, what's happening on a nation level, but what impacts your day to day? It's going to that PTO meeting. It's going to that student council or student, school board meeting. We're going to a city council meeting, right? Like being active in your community in whatever way that you can be. Taking that little bit of time to disconnect.
For sure.
From the social madness out there.
It's so mad out there. And I'm looking at you, community Facebook groups. Well, I won't name names, but it's like, it's any community. I'm still part of like ones from back home, and I'm part of like ones from here. And holy moly, like that uncensored one, I literally had to take that one off my feed because, wow, literally go touch some grass. When's the last time you've been outside? Let's see. It's all connected. Race, class, gender, power, and the people on top, they're betting we don't notice.
Intersectional justice. That's the map forward.
I think the thing is that people on the bottom right now, like we are noticing, and we all notice in different ways. Like for you, you're more political, things like that. You're noticing on that level. I'm noticing it on like the school level and like what's affecting our kids and their future and stuff. And I think they can sense that we're starting to notice, and they're doing all they can right now to keep us like silent and compliant. And I'm like, no, we're all just kind of like, not all of us, but the ones that are quote unquote woke or waking up to this nonsense are like, actually, I don't want to do that. This doesn't sound like fun for me.
Yeah, at all. Yeah, it's a big mess, but I think at the end of the day, the biggest thing that we can do is, again, going back to community. I think I'm beating a dead horse by now, but like, it is the thing that makes the biggest impact, and it's where you can make the biggest impact yourself, is in your own communities, doing the things that are going to better your own communities and your neighborhoods.
For sure. And whether it's that's like for me, last year when people were like, oh, I can't do like what you do, whatever for PTO wise, it's like, that's fine. I'm not asking you to do it on this level, but help out a little bit, right? So sometimes it's not about like helping your community in huge, large ways, right? Sometimes it's like offering your neighbor a ride to the store if they need it, or getting your elderly neighbor groceries if you need it. Like, what small step can you do that will help that avalanche of community grow?
Yeah. Right?
Small steps still count.
It's a good point to bring up. You're knowing your neighborhood. Like you don't have to. There was a comment on social that I read. It's hard for people to trust people, right? And I understand that, and I want to be aware of those things. But the only way that you can start building trust is to say hi to your neighbor.
Yeah.
Like you have to start somewhere.
Like growing up, like we had like parades with our neighbors. Like we were running in and out of each other's houses and stuff. And that community, that village was there. But now, like when you're driving past, you don't know, like, oh, is that person going to snatch my child? Like, oh, why did they look at me that way? There's just no real sense of like, hi neighbor, you know, or even when you try to like wave or like give a smile to someone and they like look away and it's like, okay. Like, what? I'm not a threat by saying hi to you, hi to my neighbor.
Yeah.
And the only way you like become neighbors and the community is just by like the first simple step is to say hi or give a wave to your neighbor, just to say, I'm here.
All right, let's bring it all together. You didn't fail. The system did. No, you're not broken. You're waking up.
What lie are you ready to let go of?
Yeah. Really, what lie are you ready to let go of?
What lie are you ready to let go of? Justin?
There are many lies. Many. I think the lie of believing that somebody else will come and do the things that you want to see. Like you can't rely on other people to start it.
Start your own fire, for sure. My lie that I'm ready to let go of is that I have to do it all. Things will survive if I don't do it all.
Rescue. Hashtag rescue.
Hashtag moving on. Wow. Episode 2, bro.
Made it.
Made it.
All right. Next week we go inward. the version of you that got lost somewhere along the way, and how to bring them back.
So tune in next week for episode 3. I miss who I was.
Boom. Done.
Boom, boom. That was episode 2. Say episode 2.
Episode 2.
Episode 2.
Cut.